Joined now by Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake. Great new acquisition. We got a little feel for Max Fried today, not only what he can do, obviously, as a pitcher, but sort of the mental side and how much he likes to compete.
Yeah, I mean, that's a calling card of his. Obviously, a really good competitor. He's been in some big moments. He's been in the World Series. You know, he's got a track record of success for the last few years. I think it's a great acquisition in that regard, but I think we feel really good about who he is and who he can grow to be. So I think that's the exciting part of this.
Matt, let's act like someone had never seen Max Fried pitch before, and then you had to give the bullet points. What are the things you're highlighting?
Well, I think he's crafty's probably not the right word because he's got some horsepower to what he does, but I do think he can move the ball around. He's got, a bunch of different shapes that he can mix and match to both left-hand, right-handed hitters. So I think the fact that he can go after both sides of the plate and he can minimize contact quality is really important, especially in this ballpark.
He's so good, you could make the case, there's that expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you go into that pitching lab with you and the rest of your staff. What things would you like to refine with him?
Well, I think the fact that he has, call it 7 pitches, there's always room to kind of pull those apart and make sure those versions of each pitch are the best version that we can get. And I think just as we've talked through it, I don't know if he's maybe been exposed to some of the things that we can do with those and give him some feedback on the different shapes. So I think giving him a little bit more insight into like why those pitches are good and how to keep them good so that as the season goes on, they don't kind of wander on them, they don't get muddy. I think just making sure you keep them distinct pitches, that they have a real role in the arsenal.
One of those pitches is his curveball. He told us earlier that it was his dad and watching Sandy Koufax that started that, then Clayton Kershaw as well. You don't see that kind of curveball much in Major League Baseball anymore. When you see that, how much do your eyes light up in him getting swing and miss, weak contact?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the better curveballs in the game, and obviously it's kind of a hallmark of what he does well. So, I mean, the fact that he's saying that, Koufax and Kershaw, those are 2 good guys to start with. So I think it's a pitch we can build around, and then I think just his ability to spin the ball, and he created a sweeper last year. He can kind of do some different things from a slider standpoint. Obviously, anytime you can throw the baseball like that, it gives you some capacity to change and adapt. So that's huge.
How much do you think he can sort of glean from? He's talked about this in the past, being with the Braves like a Chris Sale. Now he's with a Garrett Cole, both Southern California guys. Cole went to UCLA. He had committed to UCLA, and now kind of getting into the real nuts and bolts of pitching.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that we value about our group is that anytime we import someone, they have things to offer us, but then also as a group that we do a good job of kind of bringing them and embracing them. And then like Garrett's as good as it gets when it comes down to sharing insight about whether it's the craft of pitching in New York, being in this environment. So I feel like, Max will have a lot to kind of pick up from Garrett, and I think he'll have a lot to offer us as well.
This is Max Fried's day, but before we let you go, we have to ask about Devin Williams because now you have somebody at the end of game to come in, fastball changeup, and it is a ridiculous changeup. What do you like about that acquisition?
I mean, it's just, provides some stability in the back of the pen. Obviously, we lost a handful of relievers from a strong bullpen down the stretch. So being able to kind of like piece that back together, and that's a great anchor piece. And it frees Weave up a little bit, too. Not that we won't have him close some games, but, his value and being versatile and pitching in some high leverage spots and other places kind of frees us up to do that again. So I think those 2 guys to anchor the bullpen is huge, and it gives us a good starting spot.
It's funny. It feels like the game is morphed. You can never have enough starting pitching. You can never have enough good quality back end of the bullpen guys, right?
Absolutely. I think, just how the game continues to evolve, health is obviously the priority, keeping our best pitchers on the field. And I think the more high leverage pitchers, high quality pitchers you have, you can kind of share the burden, especially, as you go through 162 games.
Matt, thanks for the insight. Always great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you too.